This call is being recorded.
All right, I am recording our conversation, so
All right, cool.
please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions at all whatsoever. That is totally fine. And oh wow, that is so fascinating. I am mind blown right now. You were born November 17th, 1983, right?
Yep.
Okay, I kid you not. I literally just got off of a consultation with a woman who had her sun in Aries and her moon in Scorpio. And we see you have your moon in Aries and sun in Scorpio.
No way.
I love coincidences like that. I don't even call them coincidences. I just love occurrences like that. It's just amazing. And she has a Scorpio too, and all the Scorpio risings and Scorpio suns are like, please do not post this on YouTube after we're done. And I just love that. So I'm assuming you two will want this private too, right?
Let's just see how it goes. But
Beautiful.
yeah, I figured we were going to get part of this conversation. But yeah.
Okay, and that's
I'm open to see what happens.
All right, and right off the bat, I am very honored to let you know, my friend, you are a part of Alien Gang. You are one of us, and you have Pluto and Saturn in the same sign as your sun. So this article that I'm going to share with you speaks to having like a 10-degree orb, but in the same sign. I'm just going to share it anyway, because as a Saturnian power alien with Saturn in your sign, you're able to manifest anything into a third dimensional reality. You can manifest from the heart, create sacred forms and altars, turn time backwards and forward. And then my favorite one, the Pluto power alien, because you are Pluto Scorpio and your sun is in Scorpio. You can understand the true nature of death, sex, and rebirth. You can destroy that which is not built upon truth. You can understand the true nature of birth, sex, and rebirth. You can perform psychic surgery. You can see beneath solid surfaces and perform exorcisms, amongst other things. So this puts you amongst the super Scorpio class. That with Saturn here also enables this pure social karmic element, which probably adds a lot of social anxiety because it just makes a lot more intimate dealings so much more serious, because now this is not only the element of your karmic lessons, you're effectively a karmic lord here, in that your spirit will bestow penalties to people who come at you incorrectly and are just impure in their intent, as Scorpio is purity. And so, as a high priestess, as the 8th-degree Cancer rising, which is the cardinal bishop, you have the vibration of original purity. As Scorpio is the pure queen, and so you're the original pure queen, which with Saturn on your sun, you are a gangster. I'm just gonna be clear. And I love how Saturn kind of expresses its karmic authority here. For example, 50 Cent, who I think is one of the personifications in his era of, being a gangster and how he spread that his music, has Saturn on his sun in Cancer. And this is a man who has made like tens of millions of dollars selling water. And that is the most Saturn water, sun water stuff I've ever seen. And so, whereas Cancer is the juice, Scorpio is the sauce. And so you have such an extreme karmic authority over wisdom and the pure psychological energy that goes into dealing with others socially. And I say that because you have an individual cancerizing personality, you have an individual Aries moon soul, but you have a social Scorpio sun. And so you're an individual social that can stand on their own in social interactions. However, this speaks to you having the sauce and you having the authority to apply the supernatural level of transformation, because Pluto is awakening. And so you awaken people's spirits, but you also hold them accountable to the integrity of their own pure energy. And not surprisingly, Scorpio does not like people. Most people are impure. And let me kind of be careful of what I say, because Scorpio's in a purity. So anybody who's pure, Scorpio will love. But it's an extreme energy. It's like it either extremely hates the lack of purity that you approached its pure royalty with, and now it has to think up of why it shouldn't kill you, or do come with purity, and it loves that. And I only say that because I really love how, it's very common to see Scorpio natives just really closed off from certain people. And it always comes up like they're stuck up or like they're mean. And I've come to learn over time, no, y'all are literal pure royalty. And so, just like water that takes whatever it's around, you refuse to be around that which is impure because you're going to feel and see into these extreme vibrations more than other people. And, having Aries moon is just such a volatile, instinctual baby soul, but one of the most powerful souls in that you can, when people really get to know you, which is what I really find interesting, they see the Cancer rising, they see the Scorpio, which is very intimidating, very pure. You're very creatively pure. It's just when they really get to know you, they find out that you're really a whole gangster inside and you will cut somebody if they mess with you, which is what I love about Aries moon. It's like, it's very spicy. It's very feisty. It's like, it kind of drops the false pretense and people realize, wow, you're really passionate, versus the deeper emotional gravity that we sense. Does that resonate with you at all?
Oh, I love how you explain things. I definitely can see some dynamics, or
Nice.
different dynamics that have shown up, and just interesting. I like your breakdown.
Thank you. And once again, like, please don't hesitate to interrupt if there's any questions that come up or anything you'd like to mention. Uh, your chart is definitely very fascinating. I like to say that about most, if not every chart I see. It's just certain charts like yours carry these archetypes very specifically that add so much more power and intrigue to how a lot of this is expressed, which once again is very amazing. So, with that being said, it goes a long way towards putting you in a position to be powerfully receptive to the nature of an individual's character and also how you identify with an experience. And so it'll give you the insight of what actions to take as you express this psychological wisdom, because Scorpio is wisdom. And of course, Aries is authenticity and originality. So you also represent original wisdom. And this is where you, in the fifth, express very creatively the inner child or creative pure talents of your spirit. I also been eyeing your 29 degrees Mars. Woo! That is wow. That's very perfect. If anything, 29 degrees Mars in Virgo is such a mastery of finesse and strategic action, but also sexual expression, and how perfectly you may be in a position to realistically just sensually tap into someone's body. Square Neptune and Sagittarius that links this physical sensual mode of action with your own clairvoyant vision, and how the skills and attitudes of this link with the behavior of how to see what you're doing, which I just kind of broke down pretty simply, but it's way more supernatural than that. This is actually textbook reality warping by being able to map out the details versus what you see as possible to step into here. And I love your Sagittarius stellium because it's a part of the South Node here. 83 is a very fascinating year for me, because I'm born 1990 and I have Saturn that rules Capricorn, Neptune and Uranus in Capricorn. So I'm going to say that again. I have Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune in Capricorn. And you have Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune in Sagittarius. So y'all are the magical Sagittarius version of 1990, 88 and 89 that no, but really 90 that no 88, 89 too, that has us in Capricorn. And this is just so very pivotal because this is honestly some of the most magical Sagittarius energy possible. As a Scorpio sun, this is second house to you, so it's the magic of your lifestyle and behavior through your vision that, as a representative of wisdom, you creatively manifest, which is so gangster once again, because this is literally based off of everything you see and align. Now, the North Node in Gemini, attached to Chiron in Gemini, attaches this healing sense of communication to your destiny. In that, you unlock the freedom of other people's behavior and lifestyles, which you live unconventionally, in order to align to them their true spiritual path. And if you are an atheist, it doesn't have to be spirituality. This is just going to be more so the enlightened ways you release unconscious habits in your mind. This is a very supernatural and misunderstood destiny path because the Gemini 12th house is sacred truth. And so the way with which you discern what is true is going to be unconventional and unique and unlike what most people are used to. And this is because as a high priestess, you work directly with angels. In fact, the North Nodal return you had was the angels like, hey, you've been working, we've been protecting you your whole life, and we've been working with you, but now we want you to see literally directly the causality between you thinking about us and calling on us and how quickly we're there. This is cool because with Sagittarius energy like this, you've always seen this. Like Neptune and Sagittarius is clairvoyant vision, in that you can even see the pathology behind people's behaviors that enables you to awaken them to a more, less um I was gonna say less retarded. I'm sorry, less like stupid way of living. And I hate to say it like that because it's not everyone that does this. In the case where someone has integrity and lives very amazingly, you get to confirm and show them, hey, keep up the good work. Like this is what you're doing, or this is how it's done. But there's always this Jupiter expanded insight into how you do this. And I love that it's not a coincidence that you have North Node 16 Gemini on the South Node 16 Jupiter, the ruler of your sixth, is in its dignity in the sixth house, which means you live the most abundant, unconventional lifestyle ever, even if it doesn't feel like that, because the South Node has recently unlocked this. In fact, the South Node is directly opposite Chiron. And so this is, of course, taking this healing sense of communication that takes the vibration that comes from your frequency of what you communicate to heal people. And that sounds amazing, but we don't live in a perfect world. So really, you would trigger the crap out of people in the way you express the truth of your spiritual beliefs and how radically progressive and genius that this is for people, especially stupid people who will just assume you're crazy because they can't really process the nature of what you're saying, even if you break it down or dumb it down in a way, right? And this is meant to happen like this because it challenges their mind to think beyond what they know, especially around how they see their lifestyle. And of course, this isn't stupid, this isn't crazy, this is genius, what you're expressing. And so the truth will piss people off before it sets them free. And it's based off of this principle that you're in a position to realistically harness and tap into so much of this magic. Because once again, like, this is one of the most magical sixth house or Sagittarius energies we have. And even with Mercury and Sagittarius, your brain now has the ability in this bigger picture way to visualize and process this. Mercury in Sagittarius means that the way that your brain processes information is not only through visualization, but with Uranus here, it's supernatural. This is a claircognizant visual basis with which you will just know what you see. And there's a nonlinear nature to this that will forego the need for inductive or deductive reasoning, as you're really just going to like be aligned to see what you're meant to see. And with this connection to the causal and astral through Uranus and Neptune, this is what literally links this vision to realms outside of existence, so that with Jupiter, you can expand what's possible. I would say the only frustration with this is Virgo, that, doesn't want to really deal with possibilities and just wants to deal with what's really analyzed. And so sometimes Virgo will kind of have a bone to pick with Sagittarius, because Sagittarius, your Neptune and Sag is going to be like, look, I know there's a brick wall in front of you, but like your dreams are past that brick wall. Or more practically, it's like, okay, there's 3 cups of coffee right here, but if you go to the next room 2 doors down, there's going to be that coffee that you want. Where Virgo will be like, look, let's just go off with what we're based with right now. Like there's 3 cups of coffee. Like you have this hunch that there's coffee elsewhere, but I didn't analyze that. And this is where Virgo will put Sagittarius in check to make sure it takes account of the details, but Neptune will force Sagittarius will force Virgo to have faith in its vision. And then you walk into that extra room and bam, there's your cup of coffee with your name on it. And this is where, you have the best of both worlds here, because the way you take action, I have Mars in Aries and I like Mars in Aries. It helps me, get to the first in the line. It's just before that I can think about what I'm doing, before I can be like, hey, buddy, like, that's probably not the smartest thing you can do. Oops, I already did it. And, Mars and Virgo is not going to have that issue, because Mars and Virgo may have paralysis of analysis, but 29 degrees is that master plan. In any situation, you have the master plan where you have that, list of the step 1 to step 10, which is more Capricorn organizational. Virgo doesn't have to really be as organized as that, because it's going to still analyze. based on the experience, but this is what's going to strategically have you analyze the details socially in your experience and take action based off of those details. Whereas with my Mars and Aries, I just wing stuff. And so you have Moon in Aries. So you're still going to take that action strategically, but you'll still have the intellectual wherewithal to just wing and just take action. And this now takes a part of the finger of God, the yod, that points at your Aries moon, which is kind of interesting because the moon always supports the sun. And so in that vein, your Aries moon is the focal point as the power. It is the action that your soul intuitively pushes you forward towards your destiny and towards your career, the receptivity of the success that you identify. And so basically, the perception around the detailed analysis of your attitude and the strength of the creative nature of your spirit and how extremely you see and feel this awareness psychologically is going to influence how powerfully you take action in Aries. It's like based on how much strong uh you press down on something, and the angle with which you do it will influence how much more force is exuded. And this is where very awesomely Venus is opposite this in Libra. And so you're able to balance with your heart how much more assertively you express this very passionate power, soul power too, because as Moon in Capricorn and you as Moon in Aries, we both are representatives of soul power. And soul power is that inner understanding of the actions that define our character, which once again is just super awesome because this is just a very, 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 powerful sense. Okay. So, other than that, this is uh, really amazing once again because this definitely goes a long way towards realistically putting you in a position to tap into this fire trine where that nature of everything you see in your own lifestyle once again puts you in a position to realistically um you know open up like never before how you take action intuitively on the lifestyle you see you want to live. And that destiny, personally for you, is unlocking the resources of your own behavior to align to the truth of your own spirituality. And once again, also release unconscious habits in your belief. And Chiron here is going to be, like I said before, your ability to call on angels or apply an enlightened perspective into how you actually, connect with this sense of your own spirituality, but also, once again, these unconscious habits. So, did you have any questions so far?
Oh no, I mean, I'm just absorbing. It's so much to unpack, but a lot, yeah, a lot of it I'm just like, I don't know. I'm smiling right now. I'm taking it all in. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, I think it's really interesting what you're saying, and I definitely, um, yeah, definitely lots of magic is happening. And I know I do have a divine team of angelic support, so that's nice. You hit on a lot of things. I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen. There's so much to unpack, but I really appreciate your perspective.
That's awesome. And that's really great to know too. Um, you know, Especially in the sense where a lot of how you personally tap into much of this energy goes a long way towards, as an individual social with this karmic social uh, element, really holding accountable or just tapping in with this sense of how powerfully you usually or open up to reflect back to the collective what you pick up intensely and how intensely you pick up on it too. And so, it's definitely going to go a long way towards, more so than ever, really tapping into and um, establishing this intensity of wisdom and purity, which once again is very awesome. So, okay. So, yeah, other than that, you'll find that what you're in a position to facilitate moving forward will not only provide that awakening, because now with this Pluto Scorpio, there's this represents the extreme intensity of deep emotions and psychological understanding that in your presence, not only will you evoke and will come up, the reason why these deep, intense feelings come up with you is so that any psychological or sexual trauma is dealt with. It arises so that we can awaken to it. Pluto sons are able to see the unconscious natures of people's spirits and how they express this aspect and facet to them as well. And so this puts you so much more in a position not only to own up to this, but to connect through this as well. And Saturn is cooler because now you can even control and literally have the authority to manipulate this within others and yourself. And this is where, as a karmic lord, with great power comes great responsibility. But you are this expression of integrity. This is why, given how you put yourself at risk in a certain sense to facilitate this, Saturn is not going to hold back screwing people up who mess with you. And you're so pure, you wouldn't necessarily see it as a revenge thing. You know what I mean? It's just more principle. And you don't have to be conscious of it. It's not like you're going to be like, oh, this person messed with me, so you get a car accident. No, but you may feel something about it. You may have like a disgusted feeling, or you may just have a negative feeling, and you're actually feeling these outer planets express this through you, and that's them, delivering that juju, but not in a negative, evil way. More so in a way of principle, because of the energetic dynamic around these things, or just to protect you in case someone really did have ulterior motives. This is everything that you're definitely going to come around to realistically, change moving forward and control even more, or really just embody. That might even be a better word, embody even more, which is definitely a lot to look forward to. Other than that, uh, I'm going to send you the recording to this reading, and oh, and yeah, if you don't have any other questions, I can send this to you.
Epic. Okay, thank you so much. I'm just a novice in general, or I mean, I've been following you, I think, for about a year now, and yeah, I love your content. So thank you so much for your hilarious interpretations, but also incredibly witty. I will say, moving forward, what would you recommend for further reading in the future? Like something more specific, or
I love
I
that.
just like to have an understanding, and I like to be well, with astrology. I feel it's very complex to some of the other things that I'm already like
Absolutely.
studying right now. So it's easier to have somebody well, your interpretation helps me interpret as well. It's how I'm seeing it. So moving forward, yeah, what would you recommend?
I recommend the progressed natal chart report or the
Okay.
transit forecast. The progress will show
Okay.
us your energy now, and then the transit forecast will be, a snapshot of what to expect moving forward.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Because yeah, I've been in like creative mode or creation mode, and definitely like a death and rebirth cycle of my like wellness business, and I just have some ideas. So I kind of want to base a lot of those decisions off of, I already work with like the moon cycles, but a little bit just beyond that. So okay. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm stoked. I feel like you explained a lot, and I look forward to the recording and listening, because yeah, there's definitely lots to unpack there. So thank you for your time.
Beautiful. And I'm going to send you that right now.
Epic. Thank you. All right, cool.
All
Have a
right.
great day.
Always. Likewise. You have a blessed week.
You too. Thank you.
Peace out.